Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Connie Brannon from Malone University. And you are still celebrating this 125th anniversary. We heard about the bicycle run and raising scholarships for students. But you've been doing quite a bit. You're celebrating all year. So tell us what else has been going on.
We have one of the fun things that we wanted to make sure we did throughout the course of the year was give our alumni opportunity to celebrate and to see alumni come from all over the country participate in our homecoming weekend, just to kind of get their reflections on and have a chance to bring them home. So homecoming this year was it was a special occasion. Our VP for Student Development rallied our previous Student Senate presidents for a breakfast the morning of homecoming and was able to get a group of more than 50 together.
Oh, nice.
As the advisor of Student Senate. It was interesting to see all of these small pockets of students who all have something in common come back to campus. We also do a dinner every homecoming weekend that honors a handful of alumni who receive awards for what they're doing in their jobs, in their community, in their ministry. So as an add-on to that occasion, not only did we honor those alumni and give them a chance to introduce themselves and be commended for their work, it was important to Dr. King that we rally past living presidents to join us, who hadn't some of whom hadn't been on campus in years.
Oh my! And how different it would look to some of them
over this extended period of time. That and it was such a special evening. 4 of our previous presidents joined us, gave them just a moment to stand and be honored. For Dr. King to publicly thank them for the work that they did for the institution, for him to speak for a couple of minutes on what he feels his mission for Malone at this time and this place are, and then kind of commission the entire room that Malone has a bold future ahead of it, and this is the role that he hopes we'll play. That's actually the slogan for the anniversary this year is Rich Heritage, Bold Future. And it was interesting as you always want to photo op at the end of the evening, and we pulled the alums together and took pictures of them with their families, and then, of course, pulled the past presidents together with Dr. King for a photo. What most people in the room didn't notice after everyone broke for the evening and you were getting tables cleaned up and everyone was leaving was that a couple of the presidents actually came over and put their arm around Dr. King. They all gathered as a group and stood and prayed for him in the institution, which was one of the most beautiful and compelling things I've ever seen in my professional career, that the Malone community sets that kind of precedent where this is just business as usual. This is what you do. This is the man who's currently leading. And maybe I was here 5 years ago or 25 years ago. And it's important to me that we are still asking and petitioning the Lord to bless the work that's being done at Malone. And, got some really sweet pictures of it.
Each one of those would have contributed their own portion of what makes your university what it is today. But no one would understand what being in his shoes feels like as those 4 other people. And to think that there they were able to just come together in prayer and unite in prayer, that had to be a very powerful moment. Glad you saw it.
Nothing that you could have staged or requested, or it was completely organic.
Yeah.
And will probably never be repeated in that way, in that moment. It was just really beautiful.
It's got to be from the heart.
Absolutely.
You do the summer camps. Yeah, that's how I think of you, as the summer camp gal over there at Malone University. Tell us about those.
Sure. So for the 3rd week of June, for the last 3 summers, we've offered a week-long boot camp, if you will, in several of our academic programs. It gives high school students an opportunity to get a taste of what they think several of our majors will offer.
Let me stop you right there. Summer camp, I think of as hiking and swimming and boating and maybe a little archery thrown in for fun. I don't think of it as calculus and, creative writing. But you somehow do the amazing learning and have a lot of fun at the same time. Connie, how do you pull this off?
We do. We want what they do in their classroom session. I say classroom with air quotes because we don't want it to feel like class. They're not going to summer school. But we want what they do during the workday, basically, to be hands-on, to be interactive. So our science careers folks are in the labs looking at DNA. Our zoo and wildlife biology folks are doing field identification in Stark Parks. Our nursing folks are in the nursing lab, using our sim mannequins. Creative writers are they literally get on a bus and go somewhere and talk about the inspiration of the environment around them and how to write about it. So we try to send all of the students from all the camps at some point during the week on field trips. Last year, our theater camp went to see the Phantom of the Opera at Playhouse Square in Cleveland. And I think at least half of the students who attended last year had never had the opportunity to attend a professional performance of that caliber. So was one of those life moments for an adolescent that was really, really pretty powerful.
Tell us what all topics you have to choose from now during these summer camps, because you've already mentioned some I had no idea you did.
So aside from the ones I just mentioned, we're also offering psychology, chamber music, jazz music, and worship music. Offered to instrumentalists and vocalists based on those different fields. There's information about that on our website. Computer science.
Is that where they design a video game?
They do design a video game.
Too cool. That's pretty fun.
And last year they did some things with 3D printing too.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
we have using the 3D printer up in our art facilities on campus,
which is mind-boggling.
Taught them a little bit on that too. It's fun we have student mentors who are camp counselors. They're current Malone students who come in and mentor the students all week. And it's fun to hear them talk about how some of the activities they've done with campers are unique to what they've actually done in the classroom, that it's an add-on. Had I not been a camp mentor, I couldn't take this experience into my career when I graduate this year. So it's fulfilling for me to see that not only are we giving a taste of this to our high school students in hopes that they enjoy their time at our campus, but for our current students to see that we're still finding ways to enhance their education through this on-the-job opportunity.
And then is there a time, like in the evening, where they all get together and play Capture the Flag or something?
Yes. So after dinner is where the lighthearted fun comes in. We try to fold in as many Malone traditions as we can. One of them is musical chairs. Every year at orientation, we pull all of our first-year students together and have a 300-person game of musical chairs. So we replicate that for our campers.
Too fun.
Whether they're competing for $200 worth of pizza or camp shirts, the idea and the spirit of it are the same. We do Olympics. We do an outdoor movie. We do karaoke. The one night, the zoo kids go on a night hike so they can go stargazing. We have a chance to send our students off to see concerts in the park through the Canton Symphony Orchestra, who is partnering with Malone to do the chamber music camp. That's a unique opportunity for us, and we're so grateful that they'll jump in and partner with us on that.
Are you, Connie Brannon, doing anything with music camp because you are quite musical yourself? Or does this just keep you too busy running from one to the other?
I do really well to sneak in and hear some rehearsals of theirs and cheer them on. A couple of the camps do a wrap-up recital so that families can see what they've worked on all week, whether it's students preparing a worship service for worship camp or our chamber folks or our jazz is new this year. We have not done that one before. So I think all of those plan to have public performances. And those are a highlight for me.
Oh, that will be
usually
fun.
I'm all over campus with a walkie-talkie and a golf cart just trying to make sure all the pieces stay together.
That's right. And that no one wanders off. Students come from where? You're gathering them from all around the United States.
The magic of Google.
Yes. Cool.
We've, over the last 2 years, have drawn students from Washington State, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, Indiana, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Pennsylvania.
Kind of brilliant on your part, because do any of these translate into Malone University students then when that freshman year comes around?
They do.
Yay. Good thinking.
And we're so thrilled that by the time the week is over, that the week they've spent helps them to feel like they're at home. You know, I've connected with these faculty members. I really love my mentors. If these 2 folks or these 4 folks are any representation of what I would have here, I want to be part of it. From our 2015 camp season of 33 seniors who were eligible to go through the application process, We had a total that first year of 83. 33 of them were rising seniors. 7 of those 33 enrolled at Malone. That's a 21% yield. And that's meaningful because it shows that what we're doing represents the Malone education well. We don't want the camps to get too big. Most of them are capped at 24. Not that I wouldn't love to see more campers, but I don't think that accurately represents what you'd have in the classroom. We want the group to be small enough that faculty members can get to know you and be meaningful about it. So,
where do people find more information about camp? Everyone listening right now either knows somebody who needs to go or wants to go.
Yes. These are primarily for students who are rising 10th through 12th graders. We have a commuter option for chamber music for grades 7 through 9. Otherwise, these are high school opportunities, and you can find information about them at malone.edu/summer camps, plural, with an S on the end, for more information.
Malone can be very proud of your product. You've had alumni graduate and have impact on a number of areas worldwide. Talk about some of your alumni of distinction.
So one of our more recent ones is Dr. Merv Yoder. He's the director of pediatric research at the Indiana University School of Medicine. I hope I got that right. And he was a 2016 Hall of Excellence recipient from OFIC, which is the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges.
Well, I'm familiar with that, and that is amazing because the kind of people that are in that Hall of Excellence are John Glenn and Hal Holbrook and you name it. I mean, very accomplished folks. So, yay, Dr. Yoder. He's hanging on the wall along with them. Very cool. What else?
He's one of 3 who've actually won that distinction.
Very cool.
Ambassador David Rawson, who was ambassador to Rwanda, I believe was 1999.
You're right.
And Meredith, help me recall her last
Shefflin?
name. Shefflin, yes. Was a founder of a school in Bolivia. She's an educator and a missionary, and she was given the award in 2006.
Very cool.
We have an alumni who is a member of the band Reliant K. We have 2 very recent alums who are working at the Nashville Zoo together.
Yeah, together.
Graduated at the same time and eventually found themselves at the same zoo and are all over Instagram together.
Yes.
Doing educational programs for kids and animals at the Nashville Zoo. And it's very sweet to see Malone have a reunion in Nashville.
It is exciting to see what your students are doing. That is absolutely true. All right, malone.edu has more information for everyone. Connie Brannon, thank you so much for all you're doing
Thank you,
in our
Susie.
community.